Sometimes the students will mispronounce vowel sounds, or they'll mispronounce the blends. So whatever that is with the mispronunciation, I will still continue smiling as they go through and read, but then as soon as they are finished reading, then I will show them the couple words that they missed, and I'll say, oh, great job. Let's read this again. And I'll circle it, and we'll both read it together. And so I make sure that I always praise them for what they have done already and the work they put into the lesson. And then I'll go back and just have them repeat whatever it is they need to repeat. If I need to correct maybe if I need to correct maybe the sentence structure, they are using incorrect sentence structure, I'll just use it as kind of a teaching moment. I'll just say, let's look closer. And I'll say, so Sunday is stuff, and then I'll do the whole sentence again and point out the word that they might have missed. And I'll say, okay, and kind of turn it into a teaching or learning opportunity. So as long as you are finding the positive in what they've done and continuing to smile and encourage, and just have them repeat after you the correct way so that they get that practice, then it's positive. Usually the students will expect correction, and it's not going to usually be a negative experience, especially if you give them the scaffolding they need before the activity. So you can kind of foresee this might be a trouble spot for them. This word looks kind of tricky. So by preventing those problems before they even happen, then you're actually not having to correct as much. And when you do correct, the student is totally fine with it, and they will gladly take that correction and try to do better.
Sure, you two should come to my teaching letter sound sight words and error correction workshop. I cover this. When correcting errors in level 3, there are a couple of different strategies that I use. First, positive correction is what I call it. So when the student gives me an answer that's close, instead of saying, nah, try again, I just redirect them. So I asked the student, what does it mean to travel? And he said, cars, buses. And I said, oh, yes, that's how we travel. But what is travel? So they're on the right track, support them, and then kind of push them to that answer. So kind of just redirecting them in a positive way. And then teachable moments. I find in level 3 that the students can understand a simple explanation of why they're making that answer. So I had one student that every time he saw the word has, would say was. So I pulled out my whiteboard, I wrote both of those words, and we went over them, and we, talked about the difference. And so, it was just a positive way he could see. I showed him his error, said, this is what we're doing. Let's do this. So I made it really clear to him so that when he saw that later on, he made more of an effort to correct that error. But again, it was just kind of a very simple, brief explanation that he could understand in level 3. And then I also find that most of my students, when they make errors reading or dropping that S or dropping that article, they can correct them themselves. So as my students are reading, I just underline words where there are errors, and they know that that's what that means. And often they will go back and correct them immediately before I even say anything. If not, I wait till they're finished reading and I'll circle them and I'll say, what's this? Or, oh, there was an S on that word, and I hold up my S. And they will go back and correct those errors. Another really common error our students make is dropping their articles. So I have these little articles that I hold up. So if my students drop the articles, I just hold them up. So these are just ways that I correct them, often with very little intervention on my part, but just kind of in a positive way that says, yeah, you're doing great. Let's just tweak this or that a little bit. And I do it in a positive way, and they don't feel badly about it.
Please read.
What is moving slow? The turtle is moving slow. What is moving fast? The bunny moves fast.
Good. The bunny moves fast.
What
the bunny moves fast.
The bunny moves fast.
Yes, perfect.
What makes things move? The forces make things move.
Yes, perfect.
What pulls you down to the ground? The gravity pull me down to the ground.
Good. So the gravity pulls.
Pulls
Mhm. The gravity
gra-
pulls.
the gravity pulls me down to the ground.
Excellent. Excellent, Jay. Very, very well done.